Hello everyone, my name is Christopher Liam Rose. I'm an author, mentor, life coach, motivational speaker, evangelist, musician, and activist. In this audio, we're going to be sharing a very important message for this podcast and for this audio. I've been trying to make podcasts and audios every single day for the Spiritually Helping Other People podcast to inspire humanity to go through a spiritual change, to help other people, and to learn more about no self and selflessness. Now, in this particular audio and podcast, we're going to be talking about Jesus Christ, Jehovah, Buddha wants you to go through a spiritual change. Now, Jesus Christ, Jehovah, Buddha wants us to go through a spiritual change because the spiritual change is how we develop the no self and selflessness. Helping other people, giving back and making a difference is a very important work to do. And the only way we can really do this spiritual work is by going through a spiritual change. Sometimes in life we go through difficult life experiences, challenges and difficulties that affect us as a human being. But Jesus Christ, Jehovah and Buddha want you to go through a spiritual change. They want you to change your psychological mind and your psyche. So it's important to realize that if we go through a spiritual change, we'll be changing our lives for the better, because changing your thinking is changing your life. Nothing changes until your thoughts and your thinking changes. That's why spiritual change is a very important thing. And when you go through a spiritual change, your psyche and your psychological mind will change. You'll start to think about helping other people, giving back and making a difference. You'll start to think about truth, faith and ministry. You'll start to think about spirituality, religion, and how everything in the universe works. So the spiritual change becomes the most important thing. The way to spiritually change, which is what Jesus Christ, Jehovah and Buddha wants us to do, is by doing the 5 spiritual practices. So there's 5 spiritual practices that we can do. There is prayer, meditation, mindfulness, walking, journaling. But also there's another spiritual practice, which is the 6th spiritual practice, which is sleeping. So if you do the 5 spiritual practices, prayer, meditation, mindfulness, walking, journaling, and you also do sleep, which is the 6th spiritual practice, then you'll start to go through a process of spiritual change. And this is what Jehovah, Jesus Christ, Buddha wants us to go through. Right now the world is in crisis at the moment. There's a lot of people that are going through depression, anxiety, stress, frustrations, hardships, challenges, difficulties, suffering, pains and adversities. So we need to help these people. We need to build the world into a better place. That's why it's very important to go through a spiritual change. A spiritual change will help you to discover no self and selflessness. No self and selflessness is knowing yourself, know thyself. And selflessness means you're focusing your life on helping other people, helping humanity and helping the universe. But this comes through spiritual change. This comes from spiritual enlightenment. This comes from spiritual awakening. So it's very, very important you go through a spiritual change within your life. This becomes the most important thing in life. Nothing is more important than the spiritual change that you need to go through. Each human being needs to go through a spiritual change if they want to do the work of ministry for Jesus Christ, Jehovah and Buddha. So I'm encouraging the listeners, I'm encouraging the viewers who's watching my podcast and listening to my audios. You have to go through a spiritual change. You need to do the 5 spiritual practices and also the 6th spiritual practice, sleeping, to really understand the importance of spiritual change. Now, what's important is once you go through a spiritual change, what do you need to do? You need to do the 5 levels of helping other people. Level 1, volunteering, the good level in helping other people. Level 2, jobs, careers, employment, the great level in helping other people. Level 3, business, entrepreneurship, the highest level in helping other people. Level 4, faith and spiritual, the spiritual levels in helping other people. Level 5, spiritually helping other people, the teaching level and helping other people. Now, if you do the 5 spiritual practices and also the 5 levels of helping other people, you will go through a spiritual change. And what we really need to do in life is show our light, show our inspiration, show our motivation. Now, for people that have gone through suffering, pain, and adversity and challenges within life, I do understand sometimes life can become unfair, life can become unjust, life can become very stressful, and it can hurt you and pain you in lots of ways. But your light is within inside of you already. You're the light within you. So use your light to help other people, helping the animals and helping the universe. If we go through a spiritual change, then we discover the no self and selflessness, which means we're focusing our life on the contributions to others, the differences we make, the impact we have. And this becomes a very important thing in spiritual change. So I encourage the listeners and the people that are watching this audio, please go through a spiritual change. Start reading spiritual texts and religious books to learn more about spiritual change, like in Buddhism and Christianity, and then start to connect to Jesus Christ, Jehovah, and Buddha through faith and spirituality. And I hope the spiritual change will inspire you. And remember, faith and spirituality comes through spiritual change. So we need to spiritually change to discover our faith, to discover our spirituality, and also to help other people give back and make a difference and make the world into a better place. So thank you for listening. I hope you really go through a spiritual change. It's very, very important. And Jesus Christ, Jehovah, Buddha wants you to go through a spiritual change. So thank you for listening now. Have a good day now. Take care now. Bye now. Thanks.